Hello. Wow, that's loud. Hello.
Yo!
Here's the intro to the podcast. Welcome to Learn From Us podcast. It's Seth and Paul, your buddies, your pals.
And contrary to what the TV shows, we're actually 12 feet apart.
Yes. Camera tricks. Paul, what a week.
It has been quite the week, hasn't it?
What a month that last week was.
So for those who are listening or watching, it is Monday, the 23rd at 12:15 Eastern Time. The state of Ohio has 11 hours and 45 minutes until the pseudo quarantine, whatever it is goes in effect. But Seth and I last night, we practiced a little
Social distancing.
Yeah, what did we do? It was a lot of fun.
It was phone sex.
It was a little bit of phone sex.
We played poker with 9 friends on this free app. We all put money into PayPal. The app controlled the game. I thought it was wonderful.
We went on Zoom and we all chatted with each other and talked shit.
Then we opened up a Zoom chat and was talking shit. It was wonderful. I don't even know how to gather what happened last week. I mean, since.
So you know what the interesting part is? So last night when we were in our poker game, the markets were down pre-market 5%.
Yeah.
This morning,
What happened?
the Fed says, okay, there's going to be unlimited stimulus. We're just going to pay whatever needs to happen. So markets went up like 4%.
Okay.
From 5% down to 4% up.
Wow.
And now they're 4% down again.
Just like that.
I mean, let me look and make sure I'm right on this one, but I think it's 4% down again. It's nuts. It's crazy out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.06% the S&P.
All I hear about on social media now is I'm on it too much.
Are you?
I think so. Well, you know, I do like connecting with people. I talk to people who aren't on it at all. I just love connecting with people, random people. Talked to our buddy Rob yesterday. Called me on the phone.
Oh, did he?
We walked through each other's house. But regardless, like a lot of businesses are really suffering.
Yep.
How could they not?
Yeah.
At first, I couldn't grasp it, but then there's a wonderful bar here in Wadsworth called Crafted Cocktail. And
That's the one we went to the one time?
Yeah, it's just one of the best places ever. The just handmade cocktails are incredible. And the main guy there, Scott, as soon as this all started, I believe he founded like a small business servers, bartender type of Facebook group. And I swear it's got like 30,000 people on it already.
When did he start it?
A couple weeks ago. And
No
he's
way.
been on a daily... I got to tell people about it. Let me see.
What's it called?
Well, I'm not doing really well with it, but let me see what he's calling. But regardless, he is leading this brigade of like getting people on the same page. It's called the Coronavirus Ohio Restaurant Worker Resource Facebook page. That's a lot, right? 19,000 members.
Wow.
And he invited me 20 days ago. So he started it 3 weeks ago. And he's just been consistently sharing what to do. Some people have absolutely, and no fault of their own, have absolutely no clue how to file for unemployment, which has gone up 100-fold, 1,000-fold. What was it?
I don't know if it's 1,000-fold.
So last week I heard the numbers was about 3 weeks ago, unemployment claims in Ohio was about 1,800 people on a random Monday. They can file on Sunday.
New claims?
Continuing, new. And then by last week, it had gone up to 50,000.
Oh, wow. All right, so that's 25, 30 times more.
And so he's a server. I have other friends. I have a friend in Columbus. He's in an amazing band. And then he does food service. And like both are just slaughtered because his food service is in like a market, like a East market, whatever. I don't know what the Cleveland market is, but in Columbus, it's the North Market.
West Side Market?
Okay. So one of those open places, which they were the first to go. And so, but it wasn't until last week I was talking to a photographer friend and he said, so yeah, like how are you guys making money? And it sort of dawned on me that I'm not. Like, besides what you pay me to do the media and what you do for this show and the rest of Crossroads, like I don't have, there's no money.
Yeah.
And
it will be tough.
Yeah, it will be tough. Now we're actually fine because having met you and being around some really some people who are a lot older than me, talking about savings and whatnot, we're like we could be fine for a very long time.
Yeah, and this isn't going to last, A decade, people. It isn't going to last 5. The government's going to spend. Oh, it gets my stomach riled up every single time I think about it.
Tell me about it.
Well, we did that video the other day, right?
Yeah.
And just think about we need to have surpluses. It's absolutely necessary. Like, I think I've shifted my entire mindset to being more pragmatic. Okay, let's just stop talking about an ideal world and talk about what needs to be done. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't believe government's here to help people, but I understand that government's going to be here for a long time. So let's figure out how we make sure that both sides get what they need. And everybody talks this way, but if we'd had stimulus, if we'd had surplus for the last 10 years, the stimulus would be paid for already.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even have an issue. But now we're talking about our debts going up to $25 to $30 trillion. And 20 years ago, they were at like $3 trillion or whatever they were. What were they 20 years ago? Let's look at what the national debt was 20 years ago.
We were talking before this podcast fired up. I said, if I asked 100 people on the street, obviously, would they love a check for $1,000 from the government? Who would say no to that? Actually, you were saying you don't need it. But how many of those think that like...
5.6 trillion, by the way, at the end of 2000.
So 20 years ago, 5.6 trillion. So
it's like 19 years ago. But so we're going to be 5 or 6 times more in the last 20 years.
How many people actually realize that like $1,000 check from the government is just coming from basically you in the future?
Basically, we're all going to pay for it. We're all going to pay. It's kicking the can down the road, like we talked about, before the show. It's just, and we've been, my friend Michael Moscow and I have been talking about this for years now, about kicking the can down the road. 10 years ago, we started talking about this with this whole bailout.
No, I've said this before, is like, I think people might think like myself is like, well, we've had a deficit for 20 years. Who cares? What's it matter? I don't understand. It's always there. We always argue about it every 4 years when a president comes around. And then next year, if this was a normal time period, I wouldn't care about it at all. Who cares? It's not. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, that's a good question. What does it mean to have a deficit? In your head, do you really think, who cares? I mean, but if you think that, just please tell me. I want to know, because it makes sense. Like, I even think to myself, I guess, all right, well.
Well, I thought to myself, the first thing most families do is they go in the hole $200,000 or $300,000 to get a house or $100,000 or something.
The difference is you have an asset there behind it that you can sell.
So I never contemplated that, but that's my first thought is, well, everyone goes in the hole to start something, whether it's a business, start a house, start a family.
Yeah.
And so we're just in a huge hole, and since it's never changed.
In the last 40 years, we've had 3 years of surpluses.
No.
It's terrible.
I mean, I don't think people can rationalize that the country could operate on a surplus.
We can. Of course we can. Clinton got it done in the late 90s.
Yeah, you said that.
Clinton got it done in the late 90s. Why can't we? Now, granted, we had a really booming economy at that time. I mean, I think at one point GDP growth was like 8.5%. I mean, that's huge. But we can do it. So
what do you think about this sort of bailout where they're going to bail out the airlines and the ocean liners and normal people?
You know what I'd rather see? Oh, fudge. You know what I'd rather see happen? Just send the checks directly to the people who are going to lose their jobs. I mean...
Yeah, but see, I think that's not like you, because you say that the world has to have huge, amazing businesses to
Yeah, but they're
people.
not huge, amazing businesses, as is evidenced by the fact that every 5 years they go bankrupt. The airlines, every 5 years are in bankruptcy in some fashion.
I saw this hilarious meme. It's like airlines. Want to carry that bag? $25. How about extra seat room? $75 more than you already paid to sit there. You want a meal? That'll be $16 for a shitty sandwich. And then 2 weeks later, we need money.
Yeah, but the other half of it is,
yes.
Well, these union wages and all these things that happen that are so high. You can make the argument for everything. The whole point I'm trying to make is...
That's why I bring them up, because you offer the opposite side of most arguments that I see on...
Well, look at it this way. Airlines and auto business have the hardest time staying in business and cash flowing. Which ones have the biggest unions?
I'm assuming those two.
I mean, I'm not going to say they're the biggest, but they're the ones I know the most of. I'm not saying the unions are the cause of the problem at all. It's a whole problem. It's a whole, but you can't sit there and say, it's like a marriage. It takes 2 people to make it work. You sent me that thing the other day about, hey, this is all the more proof now that the workers are the ones that create wealth. And what was my response?
Well, so I texted Paul, because I find these interesting sayings that like people share. It gets on a big train of shares and people are like, yeah, hell yeah, this is it.
It's a cute thing to say.
And they said something like, Why don't I read it to you, Paul, if you want to talk about it?
Sure. But I want everybody to keep in mind that I'm growing very, very sick of corporate America. As every year goes by, I get sick and more sick of it.
So funny how all the consumers and workers staying home brings the economy to its knees. And the, quote, job creators aren't keeping things running with their amazing bootstraps. It's almost as if the people at the bottom create wealth.
And what did I say?
Now that sounds great because it's like very obvious. We're all staying home. The company stalls. The power's in our hands.
And what did I say?
Our hands. I mean, someone normal like me.
Yeah, you
And
can
you
make sure
said-
1,000 here. Gotcha.
It's almost as if the people at the bottom created so much wealth that during this bad time, instead of taking handouts, they created more wealth for everyone and shared it like they want the rich to do. Mic drop.
My whole point was, you guys remember, this isn't me saying rich versus poor. This is me sitting there saying, guys, it takes both sides to make it work.
Yeah.
It takes a very strong middle class and a very strong rich. But when people make it one versus the other, can the rich make it without middle class? No. Can the middle class make it without the rich?
They are thinking they can.
Okay, great. Then go make it.
And that's what I said.
If the middle class is the one that's going to go create the wealth, then go create it right now.
This afternoon. Just go start.
Go do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Nothing
all in
holding you
favor of
back.
that.
In fact, you got time to do it, right?
Yeah. If anything, I would sit there and say, well, it's evidence that the rich believe they need the middle class because right now they're asking the government to go help the middle class. Right? I look at it saying, guys, let's stop making this about rich versus poor. Let's just make it about, we have seen that society. I remember there's always people who tell me, Paul, there's proof that socialism works. Where? Oh, 8,000 years ago, there was a society that I'm like, 8,000, what's that society called? Oh, I forget. Exactly. You forget. Let's just remember that we're here to figure out the best way possible for all of us to coexist and to help each other out. I'm getting sick of the us versus them versus us thing. I don't like it when rich people think that the middle class should bow down to them. But I also don't like it that the middle class thinks like, we do all your work for you to make you money. It's like, okay, there's yes, you are on the factory line. Yes, you are sweeping the floors. I got that. But that doesn't mean that you're creating it's all part of a process, right?
So Jim, give me your part of this process moving forward. What is your mindset in the past week since we podcast last about how this is looking, how bad it's going to be?
Listen, there are projections of upwards of 50% GDP drop. I don't know.
When do those numbers come out? Would you assume
Mid-April?
Would you assume a big stock plummet then? Of course.
Yeah, I've been saying this for like the last 2 weeks now. We haven't even seen the GDP numbers and unemployment numbers yet.
I'm starting to see very normal people who usually have no idea what they're talking about. Like me, saying like, "Boy, I can see the S&P getting hit in 1,500," or is it that? What
yeah,
is it?
S&P. I still haven't heard people say 1,500. I'm still the only
I saw
one.
it this morning.
Oh, who said that? One of your friends?
Yeah, someone on my feed. I mean, I have thousands of wonderful but I have so many.
You know, it's interesting because the thing I've heard the most of is this will rebound this year. And that's what I liked hearing from the standpoint of, I know it's not done yet. And it's going to play out because we need
say that all again.
In the past 3 years, every time there was a 10 or 15% drop, boop, right, or 5% drop, went right back up. Oh, so we're all accustomed to it'll go right back up. That's what we have to have in order for it to have big. Listen, the government's not going to let everybody go poor. The government's not going to let us hit another depression. We might have a quarter or two of very, very bad GDP. Brace for it. It will happen.
How
brace for it?
Yeah.
Don't spend any dollar more than you should. Buy the essentials. That's it. Wait for the government to give you your check. Buy the essentials. We're already working in our apartment buildings on giving discounted rent. Just saying, listen, you want 50% off? Great. Here's the payment plan afterwards. We have to. Our revenue is going to drop more than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we can, that's the thing. Like, here's where we talk about with the politics. Like, I've been professing this for how long now?
3 years.
I was ready. Now all I'm doing is getting my money stacked, getting ready. Now, do I mind taking a big chunk of that to help my other businesses? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But if somebody looks at me and says, you greedy a-hole, I'll be like, wait a second. I have 500, 600 tenants that are all coming to me and saying, what can you do for me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. By the way, we had a tenant the other day write an email to Mary. We're all losing our job from this coronavirus thing. I'm sorry that our top priority isn't paying your rent. Understood. If that person had paid on time. That person's been late every month for the last 6-7 months. So my comment back to them, is, and Mary's coming back to me, was coronavirus the reason you didn't pay January, December, November, all these months late? It's like, come on. Now, I was upstairs telling my group, guys, the people who paid on time, give them the best deal because they paid on time the entire time.
Yeah.
Now, we're still going to give deals to everybody, but we will give the best deals to the people who paid on time because we have all of our tenants are, I'm going to say out of 600 units right now, 590 are working class people, averaging household income under $40,000, $50,000. So I look at that saying, okay, we're going to go help them because we do see talk about the value in them. We see the value in them and we don't want everybody, being kicked out. So we're going to work with them. Who's going to take the hit? We are.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can afford to. I planned for this. I can afford to go take that hit. But do I want something in return? Absolutely. That's business. I shouldn't just do it. We're going to ask for extensions. We're going to ask for repayment across the way. Our salon was shut down the other day.
Sure.
We went and gave a deal to all the girls who work in the salon. Here's what we're going to do for you. Great. They all get no rent on their chair in their studios for as long as they're banned from their office. Now, are we going to get something in return? Yeah, we're going to get paid back our money over the following few months.
Mm-hmm.
These are just the things what we're trying to do. But that's when I talk about there are a lot of people like me who are well-to-do, who want to help people. But they don't want to help people as like, it is your job to help me. It's like, well, hang on a second. We're here to help each other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And part of the thing for me is I had all these great tenants who paid me and made me money. If I have to give back a little bit of that and then get it back, great. I'm fine with that. Just temporarily. We're going to have, Mikey and I yesterday were talking, all right, what's our potential cash flow loss this year? Loss in profit this year. We're trying to figure that out right now. I don't think we're going to go into the negative, fortunately. Even with how bad this could be, I don't think we're going to be in negative for the year. I think it'd be very difficult for us to be negative for the year. But the whole point is we're already planning for it. Nobody in the company is getting a pay cut. Nobody in the company is losing their job. Mikey and I aren't even getting a pay cut. And guess what? If we had to take a pay cut, we absolutely would. We would have no problem with that. But it's not for the purpose of publicity of saying, look at us, we didn't it'd be for the purpose of, guys, we're fortunate. We have a lot more money in the bank. We're fine with that. But if any one of my employees 2 years from now came to me and said the economy is good and said, listen, somebody came and offered me $5,000 more. Great, go to them then, because I was there supporting you when times were tough. That's the way I'm going to look at it. You know what I mean?
It's a weird feeling preparing for what you said was going to happen.
Oh, I didn't say this was going to happen. I knew markets would fall, stock market would fall. I did not expect.
I was going to bring
this
that
economy.
up.
This economy was just the boom.
Yeah,
I didn't expect this.
Right. I mean, I think you were always proclaiming the correction that would happen, obviously, at some point.
And we can have those corrections without a massive recession like this. And I did think we're going to have a recession. Yeah, I did. But this is more than a recession, Seth. It's funny. I've had a couple people text me, oh, you were right. No, I wasn't right. First off, I'm not right yet because it hasn't gone to where I think it's going to go, which is under 1,500 the S&P.
What's it at now?
21 something. Under 1,800. Under 1,850, I was right. Under 1,500, I was really right. Economy? No. This was I can't. This is shocking. This is shocking even for me.
The 3-week school ban that they started a week ago.
That
sounds silly.
Yeah, school's over.
That sounds silly even to think that they could go back in a week and a half.
It's over.
What are the case numbers up to? 20,000 or something?
So I just saw the numbers this morning.
30,000.
The great news is the U.S. death rate's only 1.3%.
The one fact and figure I cannot get out of my mind is the parallel with Italy.
Oh, Italy's in a cluster F.
500 people dead a day.
Socialized healthcare, but go ahead.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
Socialized healthcare in Italy.
Is that what they have?
Yeah.
What's the difference? What's that mean?
The government, it's free healthcare for everybody.
Is it?
I believe so. By the way, I'm not saying that's the exact reason why, but their death rate's like 8.59%. Ours is 1.3. My brother has a good friend who got corona.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I was really happy to hear it, and here's why. He said he works on Capitol Hill. He was with one of the two congressmen who got he spent a lot of time with one of the two congressmen that got COVID. Mm-hmm. So he got tested. He was showing symptoms, got tested, was positive, and he's fine now. He's like, listen, it's just the flu, and I'll be fine, and I feel good, and I'm just self-quarantining, and I order food, and they drop it on my door, and I take it.
Yeah, it's a scary time, man.
Yeah, it is a scary time.
I have a mom that's been a smoker for many years. She's 72. She was going out, and finally we talked her into sort of staying in.
Good.
My little one, my 9-year-old, has been coughing for 8 months. Some sort of It's not asthma, but I mean, when he coughs, it's loud. It looks like he's almost concussing himself every once in a while. So we got to give him some medication. But
I didn't see him. I didn't see him coughing when we were there the other night.
yeah, it's not too bad. He plays sports, never has a problem. So maybe I just am
Listen,
overly
everything
careful.
that happens to me now, I'm like, Dad.
Oh, dude, I have felt weird for the past 2 weeks.
I know, and what do you think? Mo's convinced he's had COVID since December or January. I'm like, Mo, shut up.
Like I've been checking my temperature, no sore throat, but I get some weird I gotta go. So then the funny part is like, well, can I even go to the doctor? Because I kind of feel, I get a little dizzy sometimes, and it's not when I'm working out or doing anything.
Well, you don't work out, but you go.
Well, I do more than you think. I don't work
kidding.
out, man. Gone were the days where it's just like a integral part of my day. But
isn't that incredible? Well, you have other things happening now.
Yeah.
By the way, Seth on the when we played poker last night, he was treadmilling.
Oh yeah, so I have a walking treadmill underneath my stand-up desk.
Yeah, it was great.
And,
He did 3 miles.
3 miles in a couple hours, over 2.5 hours. I got sore toward the end of it, but it's fun. Yeah, but it's a scary time. I mean,
by the way, when I said it wasn't scary, I didn't mean it like literally. It's not. I meant it in the sense of we will get better. We will be fine. It will be temporarily hard, and the government will be there to write checks.
so I think there will be people that won't be fine though, and there are people who.
No, in the long run.
Yeah, I think there'll be people who won't look. I don't know.
I don't know anybody from 2008, 2009 who isn't better
What
today.
about super poor people? Like people who are like in shelters and shit.
Well, I get what you're saying there, and that's an extreme. Unfortunately, we got to look at this as a society as a whole, and the vast. When I say people will be fine, you're right. Are there gonna be, Seth? That's kind of like it's an emotional response. Like, what's the response to an emotional comment? Like, yes, you're right. What about those people? What about when I say everybody's gonna be fine, I don't know if I literally mean every single person in the country. There are gonna be people who are gonna die, of course.
Yeah.
Are they gonna be fine? Well, if you believe in heaven, I mean, yeah, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna go to heaven, whatever. But I mean it in the sense of, listen, we're as a society, the vast majority of us will be better off as time goes on. The thing that people don't want to understand and don't want to believe is the harder it is now, the better off we'll be in the future. That's what we don't want to experience. That's the ironic part. If you want to be better in the future, it's almost like we gotta take the because we are just kicking this can down the road now. I do believe 10, 12 years ago there's a fundamental root cause of what happened today. We're going to have companies going bankrupt because of why? Too much corporate debt. Why did they have too much corporate debt? Because rates were low. Why were rates low? And also, when they saw bailouts happening to companies back then, they're like, well, I'll just get bailouts now.
Right.
How fast did they ask for bailouts? That one woman resigned from the board of Boeing because she's like, I don't want the bailout. This is stupid.
She didn't?
Yeah, she was like, I'm against this bailout. They requested $60 billion, and she was against it.
I mean, Trump came right out and said they're handing it over. I mean,
yeah. And I don't think it matters if it was Trump or Obama. And by the way, that's what I want to make sure we get across to everybody. Just like I got pissed at people during the Obama time saying, Obama's spending too much money. Like Trump said that. I'm like, first off, Bush started it all at the very end of his presidency, TARP and all that stuff. And any president, whether it was McCain or Obama, was going to do it in 2008. That's just it. I don't care what party you are. There's just certain truths that we can't get around.
See, man, I just, there are so many, I've never been in a state where, having grown up and always been a pretty much an admirer of the president, there's just such a state where, like, he doesn't even care if he's just, like, just bold-faced lying, like, one day after the next.
Like Obama.
Was it so obvious?
To me, it was. There were things that he said that were, what are the so obvious things you've heard Trump say that are absolutely, like, lies?
I mean, just like last Friday.
When Obama comes out and talks about the
last Friday,
gender pay gap,
when Obama,
that's the biggest lie of all time.
When Trump came out, one of the first things he did is he got rid of the pandemic to cut spending. He got rid of a pandemic group of intellects to be ready for this. And then when someone asked him, like last Thursday, like, why did you do that? He said, I have no idea what you're talking about. When meanwhile months earlier he was bragging that he did it.
Great. I could say the exact same thing about Obama and Clinton and all those ones. 100%.
And then I don't understand the reason why Trump started saying coronavirus.
China virus.
Why? How is that funny? Like he's literally
It's
crossing
just funny.
out.
It is because that's what Trump is. That is exactly what
And he
Trump
even
is.
explained it. He said, they're trying to say it's us. So like a little pouty little baby.
Yep.
So he's like, you know what? I'm going to go out of my way to say it's from them.
Okay.
And it's just like, man, I can't believe that's what we've stooped to. Like even in these crazy times. Like
I can't
Wouldn't
believe-
you agree?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
That at times the president needs to be somewhat of a fatherly figure, whether he's doing right or wrong.
Have I not said this on this very podcast? The guy's ridiculous. He sounds like a brat. He is a brat. He's a pompous. The other day he talks about how all these smart scientists. He's like, I get it because I'm smart too. It's like, what the fuck? This is our president saying this.
You see these scientists behind him just like holding their head in their hands
But
when he
at
talks.
the same, well, I don't think they're doing that. But the thing I'm saying is, I heard Obama say things where I go, there is zero chance in hell Obama believes those words. And if he believes those words,
Sure.
he is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton, the things that she has said and done in her career are
Night
absolutely
and day.
just terrible. It makes me so irritated. Walmart's a terrible corporation. How much stock do you have in Walmart? Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Vote for Democrats. Our mortgage rate, your foreclosures will be lower. Gas prices will be lower. That was in 06. What happened in 08?
$4 gas or something?
Yes. Gas prices tripled. Thank you. By the way, that's my whole point. Every politician says these things. We got to just get around the whole thing.
Yeah.
That is Trump bombastic? Yes, absolutely.
How is this going to play out in the fall?
I think if Trump handles this very, very well and gives everybody what they're asking for, he could very well get reelected. It's going to be hard because it's very tough to get reelected when you're in a recession, especially how deep this is going to be. History is not on his side.
And I've seen some Bernie fans. They're saying, isn't it amazing how Bernie's really stepping up to the plate here these last 10 days? And people are like, where's Joe Biden? Joe Biden's not even like around.
I haven't heard anything from what has Bernie been saying? By the way, did you like that meme I sent you? I sent it to you with the Bernie. Was that the Bernie one?
Yeah, what was it again?
He had his head in his hands going, the decision, like he was basically stressed because he has to decide which one of his 3 houses he self-quarantines into.
Yeah. It's tough.
Even I don't have 3 personal houses, but go ahead.
Well, the gist of this podcast is to learn from us, Paul, and not talk about politics. So the learning is...
But we always talk about politics. Why is that?
Well, I want to learn who I should vote for in the fall. And how it affects my daily life and my business.
Yeah.
But I am learning, like I said, I did not want this. We said about 3 weeks ago, we did not want this to turn into the Paul Told You So podcast.
You said that, yes, correct.
Yeah, and you haven't been saying that. But my mindset is like, people ask me, like, I just see a lot of people suffering now. And is it bad to say I somewhat have a calming sense that because I listened to you and a lot of other people told me to save, like, I don't need to make money for...
But what you have to do is...
Go on.
It's not about... You shouldn't feel guilty because you feel okay. That's not the point.
Okay.
Don't feel guilty because you are going to do fine. You prepared.
Yeah.
It's no different than the airlines. These companies that all know they're going to get a bailout, they should be embarrassed by that.
They're going to take it though, right?
Of course they're going to take it. You know what's funny? We've had conversations in-house about not taking bailouts offered us. We've been offered, where banks are telling us basically, we're not going to charge you mortgage rates for. I just got an email from Bank of America. You don't have to pay your mortgage. I'm going to pay it. Fully offered to me. You don't have to pay your mortgage for a few months. I'm going to pay it. Why? Because I think it's the right thing to do. I have the means to do it. I'm going to go pay it. I don't need a bailout. For our properties, we had internal discussions. The only one we might take on is the government because the government, the guys who gave us a loan on this one screwed us on another loan like badly, and I might just take it for that reason. But our private lenders, absolutely we're going to pay it. We're not even going to blink an eye. Even if we're losing money, we're going to pay the mortgage. 100%, not even blink an eye. Just like we did in every single time we've been in a tough spot in a property.
Yeah.
So I get pissed at these companies who I feel operate in a way knowing full well they're going to get bailed out. Why? Because we set the precedent in 08.
Why would they expect different?
Why expect different? Why expect different? And that's where I get pissed. I get more pissed at these. Like when somebody said to me the other day, what do you think about Wall Street getting bailed out? I don't know if Wall Street can get bailed out, but I will be beyond livid if Wall Street gets bailed out this time, like last time. I will be beyond livid.
Come on, man.
What?
You know they'll do that.
Exactly, and it's going to piss me off. So that's what bothers me about the political side, because everybody thinks I'm pro-corporation all the time. I'm not. I remember in college once, a kid saying to me, do you believe in welfare? I go, absolutely not. He's like, but you believe in corporate welfare? I'm like, no, I don't. He goes, oh. He was like floored. I was like, I can make the argument for corporate welfare, but I'm not in favor of it. Because of things like this. And I look at this, damn. Now, I want everybody who's an individual to remember these things. I always talked about not having a 6-month savings plan because it costs you too much in retirement. It took this for people to say, maybe I need that 6 months. Remember, if you put money in your 401k, you could still borrow against it right now. I
wanted to ask you about that.
You can still borrow against your 401k right now. You can borrow against your Roth IRA.
What about a normal person who wouldn't have the mindset to fire all that up? I mean, I remember we said in this show, we had podcast topics like that 6 month.
I still think it's garbage because this is this kind of level of drop is like once or twice a lifetime. When was the last time this kind of GDP drop has happened? This could be the first time in history, they're saying.
Yeah.
Listen, it's going to be rough, but you can still borrow against your 401k. You can still borrow against your IRA. Worst case, you pay the penalty. But I'm telling you, hey, if it's paying a penalty to pay your bills, go pay the effing penalty. Rebound.
Yeah.
Rebound. Go do that. These are going to be tough. But I keep going back to one thing and one thing only.
Go on.
We need surpluses. We need surpluses, Seth. Because if we had done this, if we had surpluses the last 10 years, we'd write that check and nobody would have a problem with it. Why? We had $5 trillion in surpluses. Great. Write the check. Write the effing check.
To everybody.
That's the whole point of surpluses. They're there so that when times are bad, you can write that check. Not to everybody, by the way. What did I tell you the other day? What did I tell you the other day? Did I want it for everybody?
No.
Do I want a surplus
No.
check? No, I don't want it. Don't give it to me. Give it to somebody who needs it.
Sure.
I don't. That's to me saying, I'm the right winger saying, don't give me the check. I will be fine. But don't say to me, you're a prick. We're going to tax you more to pay for that. It's like, come on. We got to stop somewhere. This is just more and more debt. Eventually it'll cost us. And interest rates are low now, but what happens when interest rates are high again? And that debt costs us even more money.
Yeah.
The markets are going, listen, this is going to be a tough year. Listen, Ray Dalio in January 19th or 20th this year said cash is trash. Cash is trash. Now he's talking about this is not going to stop. This is terrible. This is awful. Hey, F you, Ray Dalio. F you. I lost a lot of respect for Ray Dalio in this whole mess. Cash is trash. You're missing out on big times. It's like you don't understand investing then. Cash is trash. F you. You need to learn those lessons. Same with every investor, big investor out there. You got to learn. Like I'm hearing, these money management firms are crickets. The guys who were telling us we were stupid for being so worrisome all the time. Now stocks are down what now? Since the peak. How far are we down since the peak?
The February 19th peak.
Yeah, February 19th was 33.93. Oh, wow. Look at this. Now the S&P is only down 1.5%. In the time we've been talking, it went from 4.5% down to 4% to now 1.5% down. Is this stable?
Are you surprised that Amazon has stayed so high and hasn't get blasted?
Yeah, I am. By the way, we're down 37% right now. 33% since the peak. I am surprised. I'm very surprised.
Because you were saying for years that Amazon would be the first to hit it.
Yeah. And I still think Amazon's going to take a big chunk down. But right now, they're going to get a big boom. Why is that?
Well, everyone's buying on Amazon.
Everybody's buying on Amazon. They're trying to hire 100,000 people. They're not even. I've ordered stuff like 4 days ago. I haven't even gotten it yet.
I ordered it and canceled it already.
Did you really?
Oh, screw it. I was like, ordered it, didn't come. All right, the hell with it. I mean, you're so used to one day. It's like, wait, next Friday? Nah.
Whenever I'm ordering something now, I sort. I'm like, it's incredible, isn't it?
If any of our listeners has opened up a successful Amazon selling account, I've now tried with 3 separate people in my life to be representatives of my company to sell. I cannot get past literally loading up my driver's license and a bank statement. I can't get past that step. The computer kicks it back and says, your perfectly photographed driver's license is not right. And same thing goes for the bank statement. So, leave a comment below and tell me I'm stupid. All right, Paul. It's funny that we head to podcast and I get in here and I'm like, I don't even know what to say, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, how long is this going to last? I don't know. I mean, we're not going to get into, I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say we're not going to. I'd really be floored if we hit another Great Depression like we did back then. I think the government's going to write any check necessary to make that go away. Can I make my announcement that I told you right before here?
If you'd like to, please proceed.
I have purchased a domain called
floppyballs.com.
At the bottom, there's another link called onetaxplan.org.
Onetaxplan.org.
I am getting very serious about this whole eliminate all taxes except for one income tax and give everybody a universal basic income of $10,000 or $15,000 a year. Keep revenue the same, one flat tax, everybody pays it, but everybody gets a check. So if you're a family of two making $50,000 a year, you actually would end up getting about $60,000 or $65,000 in your pocket after taxes. So you'd actually make more money. You'd pay zero tax and get a check from the government. And this actually ends up being smaller government, smaller spending, surpluses, and everybody gets a check to live off of over the age of 18, even if you don't work. If you choose not to work, you still get the check every year.
$10,000 or $15,000?
Whatever. I'm still trying to work on the final numbers. You go to college, you get $15,000. If you're 18, you get $10,000 or $15,000 a year. So imagine you're in college and you're going to school and you still get a check no matter what. Mm-hmm. You make $10,000 a year, you pay that flat tax, and you get another $15,000 in your pocket tax-free.
A flat tax of 35%?
It might be 40.
40?
Yeah.
To make it all work?
Yes. I want the surpluses. That's the big thing for me. And that way, when we have downtimes, that surplus can go to a bigger check of $10,000 or $15,000 to the people who need it. Mm-hmm. I'm absolutely, obsessed with this now.
Adamant.
I mean, Seth, this is even clearer to me now. We need this. It's even clearer to me now. Before I liked the idea, we've talked about the idea for the last 20 years. I read it in the Cato Institute, but now I'm absolutely set. The great thing is, it's going to take concessions on both sides to make it work, but it's going to get both sides what they want.
Smaller government.
Smaller government for the right, flat tax and higher tax for the wealthy, and less tax for the poor, for the left. Less tax for the poor. By the way, it eliminates all sales tax, property taxes, local taxes.
Now that I can't wrap my mind around.
Yeah, it gets rid of all those taxes.
Say it again. Sales
everything,
tax.
Every tax. Sales tax, property tax, income tax, state, federal, social security, everything. Gets rid of everything. It does one tax. It's the one tax plan. That's what I'm creating. That's what I'm proposing. One tax plan. No more individual deductions for donate. Just everything. Listen, everything's gonna be simpler. We're not gonna do all these random tax deductions, everything like that. Nope, no more.
No deductions. No
deductions
gas deductions. No.
For your business, it's fine because it's a cost of doing business. But something like, hey, you donate $5,000 to charity, no more. It's gonna be no more, and no more capital gains tax. It's higher. It's everybody, no matter what your income is, it's the flat tax.
Oh, I see.
So for the left, guess what? Now all the capital gains tax is at the ordinary income level. Everything is ordinary income, which I think is fine, except in all corporate taxes, same rate. Everybody pays the exact same amount. The only difference is, as a person who's making $1 million a year, if your flat tax is 40% and you get $15,000 for each person, you essentially pay 39%. Mm-hmm. But if you're poor and you make $20,000 a year, you pay your 40% tax. You go from $20,000 to $12,000, but you get a $15,000 check. You get $20,000. You end up netting $27,000. So you go make $20,000, you net $27,000. You paid no tax. In fact, you get more money from the government. Everybody wins in this. It's a simpler system. It drastically decreases the government size. Everything. I'm trying to make it. Try to even get the higher number higher. My goal is to get the tax rate at 40%, but get the check higher than $15,000. And I'm going to start working on these numbers. My onetaxplan.org, nothing's on it yet, but I'm planning on starting this as a 501c3, a nonprofit, to get donations to really make this happen and build awareness to this. It's absolutely imperative we get a surplus, a balanced budget, and a surplus going. I would even want a constitutional amendment on a cap on this kind of thing.
Can I host a podcast about it?
This is going to be the podcast for it. It's going to be through the Learn From Us. I don't want to have 18 podcasts for everything. Right? We have Dynasty Owner, we have Learn From Us. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
I just look at it going, Seth, it's just like our personal life. You need to spend less than you bring in. Why do we not require this of the government?
Yeah.
We need to spend less than we bring in. It's absolutely imperative. My advice to everybody out there is don't buy anything you don't need right now. Don't buy anything you don't need. The government would be telling you, go spend. That way the economy keeps, nope, don't buy anything you don't need.
Small business owners are saying spend with them.
Yeah, of course. It's tough. Listen, I want our tenants to pay us our rent, but I understand if it's like, hey, $900 for the rent or buy food. That's why we're going out to them and saying, listen, this is going to be our plan. Don't pay us $900 right now. Pay us $600, $700, but you're going to owe us in the tail end when you get jobs back and things like that. By the way, we rented 5 units in Columbus on Friday. I was surprised.
Yeah.
5 units in one day on 500 units. That's a lot, guys. Because our average worker is household income is $40,000 to $50,000 high side. High side. We have a lot of people who are $25,000, $30,000 a year in income.
How's Little Gables?
It's going well. We're running up there. I mean, we're 25% full now.
Cool.
So it's coming along.
We're going to have a promo video coming out very soon documenting a property in Shaker Heights.
Yep. It's not technically Shaker Heights. It's right across the street.
But it's a Tudor-style 22 unit that was very run down, water damage, rodents.
What do you think of it now?
Gorgeous, man.
Listen, it's going to be a tough sell. We have to get it leased up, and then we got to sell it. That's the plan of this fund. This fund is a buy, flip, and hold. Buy, sell, and flip. Sorry. Buy, rehab, and flip.
Buy, sell, flip, and hold.
I'm Paul. You're Seth.
This is Learn From Us Podcast.
This is
Subscribe
Code
below. Subscribe below if you want to keep hearing notifications from Paul and myself. And thanks for listening, as always. Tell your friends.
Things will get better. Subscribe.
We would love if someone just told one other person about our show so we can keep doing this.
Can I do what you don't want me to do?
Please do.
Here's why I want you guys to listen to us. Go listen to our old podcasts and hear the things I was saying. I'm not saying it from a, see, I told you so. I'm saying it from a, see, I'm a rational being and I think about things from an economic standpoint and from a financial standpoint, and it makes sense. Did I think the market would go to this level? Absolutely. Did I think the economy would do this? No. No. I'm actually surprised the stocks are still this far up. Still only down this much so far.
Yeah.
I remember people telling me there's no way we get more than 10% pullback. Oh, we're at 33%. We had the fastest drop in history. I think I heard somebody said to me it was the fastest bear market in history. 33% in 1 month and 4 days. So we got some work to do.
Yeah.
How's your mom feeling now that she's retired?
Nice. My sister had a baby, so she's spending time with them, and it's very nice. Yeah, she's very nice. You know, I put on a post about 10 days ago about how, you know, with this huge crackdown of everything going away, I feel like it's going to give us a wonderful chance to like spend time with ourselves and our families. And I've been doing that, playing board games with the kids.
You had me over for dinner the other night with Mo.
Wasn't
Mo
that
there?
lovely? Yeah, Mo was there.
Yeah, Mo was there.
And I've been doing projects I've been meaning to do for a long, long time. My son's turning 10 in April. So I'm putting together a little video project of every video I ever have of him, from cell phones to photos.
That's adorable.
So we'll see. It's been very nice to sort of recap his life a bit, and weird that we're growing old and up and old.
So what's the rule? At midnight tonight, you get to stay with your families, essentially?
No, actually, I read into I'm like the crazy person that reads the fine print, and
it didn't seem very like bad.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it was like, I think it's more
so
for
essentials is like, well, you can go get groceries. If you need automotive essentials, you can go do that.
You can go to the bank.
You can go to the park.
You can walk your dog.
Yeah, they consider hiking and climbing still part of it. And so, frankly, it's not going to change much. Well, we won't be podcasting.
Sad.
So we won't be here for at least 2 weeks. But Paul and I are going to try and figure out a way to speak to you guys and gals from our homes.
Yeah, we can do that.
Zoom chat. We're going to figure this out.
We should do like a Zoom call where we record.
Yeah. We'll do both of us at the same time and talk about bullshit. Get your thoughts. And
by the way, nobody liked my idea about playing chess last night. Why was that?
It's really funny. I do think, Paul, you know, we talked about how exciting this would get when the economy really turned and you would turn into a buyer.
I didn't think it was going to be like this, though.
No, this is pretty depressing. But I do think in the months to come, as we start getting together, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of...
My stock list has gone from 7 to 70.
You'll share that with me, right?
Yeah, I'll share it with everybody. I'll just be like, these are all the stocks I'm looking
Everybody?
at. Oh, yeah, I don't care.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why would I care?
I don't know.
Why the fuck
You did
would I
the
care?
work.
So what? So all this is stuff I've done the work for. I've done the work for all this. It doesn't matter. I'll share listen, My thing is, I'm not telling you to buy these. I'm just telling you this is my analysis of the stock. This is why I bought BP the other day. So here's why.
I did after you did. And so did Gio.
God damn it. Here's why I did. I wanted to buy oil. I got really so about a week and a half ago, my dad texted my brother and I. He goes, "We need to buy oil. It's at $30." I go, "Listen, I'll buy it when it hits 20." A day and a half later, it was at 20. And I'm like, "Okay, well, I said I was going to buy oil." So I called Merrill Lynch. I'm like, "Hey guys, I want to buy oil." They're like, "Yeah, you can't." I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "All the ETFs that do oil, we banned." I was like, "What the F?" I'm like, "So what do I do?" They're like, "You have to buy an oil company." I'm like, "Fuck." So I got to go through these oil companies that are all bleeding money now, that are all going to be terrible. I got to pick the best one. So I bought BP. I'm probably going to buy, I'll be honest, I'm probably going to buy 3 or 4 companies because I just don't know which one's going to. So I bought a little, when I say a little bit, a quarter of 1% of my portfolio of BP, very small amount. Mm-hmm. But I bought BP going, I'm betting on oil. It was at $19 a barrel when I bought. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, okay, I think that recessions are bad for oil prices. Saudis are increasing their production. That's going to hurt. But I think that's a little temporary thing. BP is, I didn't do it on any fundamentals because I don't know what the fundamentals in BP are now that this has happened. Who knows what the next quarter is going to be? This quarter is going to be. So I'm going to share my entire list of companies I'm looking at, why I'm buying, why I'm looking at them, and we'll go through each one. I mean, there's going to be, listen, Microsoft, Google's, Facebook, these high cash flow businesses, they're just selling for too much right now. They'll eventually sell at the right price. And you should be buying them at some point. There'll be companies that are easier to look at than others. Nike, oh my God, Nike, oh, I can't wait till it's the right price. Nike, oh.
You love it.
Oh, for sure. These are high cash flow, low debt businesses. I can't wait to buy them.
Yeah.
Right? But the cruise lines are an interesting play. They're going to get bailed out.
We have new monitors in the studio so we can see ourselves. And isn't that dope as hell right there, Paul? Look how gorgeous that looks with the studio and the camera moving.
We did the one podcast one time when you were out of town.
Yeah.
With the crappy camcorder, and that would have been like an amazing camcorder like 2 years ago for us. And I literally I go, this is shit. I go, that effing Seth took his good cameras. I was like, this is shit. I didn't want to post this. You made me a video snob.
It got a lot of views though.
Did it?
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to this
stuff. It was like your first response to the coronavirus.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Listen, Don's in charge of that stuff. He does a good job with it. Yeah.
Tune in, learn from us.
By the way, I've gained 2 pounds since our quarantine started.
176?
Yeah, 175. Did you see me eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch last night, like by the bowl full? I'm like shoving it in my mouth in our Zoom call.
Paul came over to our house and you brought terrible stuff.
What'd I bring?
Chips and cookies and not like you. Oh, there's a bug on your phone.
What? Oh, there, look at that.
Paul's deathly afraid of
that one doesn't bother me. That one that was over there bothered me.
Okay, we're just bullshitting now. Paul and Seth, learn from us. Follow us on YouTube.
Isn't our social duty to bullshit and get people going? I wonder what these numbnuts are doing.
The 2 of us or everyone else?
You and us. You and I.
I guess. I mean, does someone want to listen to this?
Of course. Maybe not. I think people want to listen to it more than you think that.
Oh, no. I think it's my job to drive the show. So when I'm listening back in the car and like listening to like taking mental notes, I'm sort of like making sure I do my job well.
I think you're doing your job great.
Yeah.
I think you're doing a good job. People love you.
Yeah, it's great. I actually listen back.
I love them.
I can't believe at how quick I actually am in life. But like when I get outside of life, I don't feel like I'm that quick with like bringing up topics, talking about them. I'm surprised myself when I listen back to myself at how quickly it comes. I don't think I'm actually that fast in real life.
Oh, I think you're very good in real life.
Oh, well.
You ask very good questions.
Yeah.
We're going to play poker again sometime soon?
I can't wait. That'd be fun.
That was a good time. But I was Shipe didn't freaking join our...
Yeah, we got to have Shipe on the podcast. Just let the world know who this guy is. I don't even know if we can. That'd be an after dark podcast.
I think that's an X-rated podcast.
All right, thanks for listening. We got to stop, Paul. We got to stop talking.
Goodbye.
Love to all our listeners. Thanks for listening. Good luck out there.
Bye.
Follow Paul and me.